We
Of
do
course.
show the soldiers coming
Yes.
in, but we don't show the massacre. You know, we've also, though it is dedicated to the people who lost their lives during the massacre, and I want to treat that with utmost respect and sensitivity. I would say that the films that inspired me were, there's a movie called The Battle for Algiers, which was many years ago, where they had to put a thing which says that this is not a documentary. And so I'm interested in truth. I think there's also Oliver Stone's JFK. There's also Catherine Bigelow's Detroit. So these were the movies that we used as a reference point. And this is really, but only more for a treatment and more for a documentary way of shooting, because that's, I believe that's the way that you can get to some truth and honesty. And because I shoot in the way that I shoot with 3-4 cameras, etc. But so those were not for subject matter, but it was for treatment. So we did auditions for, like, there must have been over 200 people who auditioned for the role. Abhimanyu Ray, my casting director, is the person really who's been part of my casting, you know, from Arya, and he spots people, he tests them, and then he supports them, and then he believes in them, and then he fights for them. Yeah, he is actually. He's a very, very good casting director. And
thank you, Abhimanyu, sir.
Yeah, no. And also thank you to Sony LIV for, you know, supporting and accepting that, yes, we want to use people of the right age who have the right kind of fit to the role, and that they have a certain, that therefore there is a certain honesty with the way that we've approached it. So it's really their talent that when I saw the auditions, and that's when I decided, it's because of the auditions and the re-auditions that they did, is when I decided that, yes, these are people that will be able to, in a way, how shall I say, take the emotional burden of the roles that they're carrying. I mean, I mentioned it, which is to say that I don't want to show the massacre.
Yeah, of course you said that.
And I think that that was really the most sensitive part about the way that we approached it. Apart from that, I think that to try and just be fair, which is the wrong word to use when I'm talking about white skin, but to try and be fair to the idea of duty and why people did what they did, and that in the name of duty there are so many things that you know that you can sort of do, and so that sort of indoctrination of what is duty, and therefore it comes from something that I'm speaking about philosophically in the Bhagavad Gita, in Arya, and even in this, which is aapka jo dharm jo hai, aapka jo karm jo hai. And the questions of those and the notions of those, I think, is really what was the other thing that we were very sensitive and careful about. And it's therefore the idea that here were people who are exactly like the people of today. And so I'm not looking at it like as if it is that. So first, yes, it's a thriller. Second, there's some courtroom drama. Then there is a conspiracy. Then there is a crime. Then there is...
No politics?
I'm not a political person. I'm looking at it from that lens, and I'm looking at it from the British Raj, and because I'm troubled by the idea that we are speaking in English. Today we've dressed Indian, and so I'm troubled by the idea of the cultural colonization that has happened to us. And so that's really from the lens with which I'm looking at it. And I think eventually the reason that it will reach out to people is because of the soul of the story is this four friends and their connection.
Did you see any of the past work?
No.
Okay.
I don't judge it on earlier work.
Okay.
I judge it on what they are capable of in the audition that they do. I think
So
you should, yeah, I mean, I'm worried how will people react. Obviously when you're taking on something which is this big, and we're also talking something which is so much part of our cultural DNA. At the same time, there are so many pressures about wanting to do justice to them, first of all, also, more than, and to my entire team, that I feel that, and also to Sony LIV, and to make sure that the people like it. So I'm yet scared. But you know what? There's a line, our line from Neerja said, fear gave her courage.
Yes.
And I think there's no harm in being scared. But as long as you're honest about your fears, I'm always speaking about my fears. That's one way in which I can deal about it. I don't hide them.